The Chusky Boys!
And this is Chad with Hemlock. What does a Chusky Boy looks like?
Chusky Boys, what's that?
Chusky Boys, not to be confused with Husky Boys.
The Chusky Boys.
I believe y'all guys are listening to the Chusky Boys.
This is William Duvall, and you are listening to the Chusky Boys.
Dun, dun, dun! Chusky Boys!
Episode 66.
Episode 8, the Ocho. Your math's a little off there, Chusky Dusty. But how in the hell are you, sir? It's been a little bit. We haven't really chatted at all since last time we talked.
Well, it's been 8 days.
I could go another 8, man, because talking to you sometimes is painful.
Hey. We got Thursday night football right now. We missed Wednesday, so we're on Thursday because, hey, we got shit going on.
I didn't. You did, man. Depressing.
I got to tell you last week, dude, I'm in the black, which means I'm
good
positive.
week. It was a good week. I remember you telling me.
It was a good week. These legs aren't getting broken anytime soon, at least not until Sunday.
So in the black for the week. So what you're trying to say is that it was a good betting week, correct?
It wasn't bad. I mean, heck, if you can win, going back to episode 2 or 3, my buddy Todd always says, if you win 65% of your bets, you're a professional gambler. And hey, what is it? Week 14 right now? 15?
Week 15.
If I'm 1 out of 15, that makes me almost 65%.
All right. We'll take it, man. So what were some of the bets that you had that paid off for you?
My bets were all, they were pretty much parlays. I think I played 4 parlays. I mean, nothing big. I'm talking like, plus 650, plus 850, which means if you bet $100, which I did not even close. If you bet $100 on a plus 650, you win $650 if you hit it. So I played a couple parlays that I hit. One, I believe, let's see here, the Rams at the Cardinals, over 51, and it would have been Arizona plus 3. Okay, so I teased that, had Arizona minus 3 and over 45. I think I hit that one, right? And then I hit another one. It looks like Green Bay minus 11.5 against my beloved Bears, over 43 total, which they did that pretty easily. AR-12 plus 250 passing yards and Devontae Adams an anytime touchdown score. That paid 607. So I hit a little bit of cash there. And, as I was watching this go down on my phone, coming back from deer hunting, we actually literally hit a deer on the interstate. So, hey, it's a win-lose. All right, boys. It wasn't my truck.
You don't shoot a deer in the traditional sense. You run over the deer, which I don't think the meat's any good, right? So it's kind of unsuccessful there.
We left that thing lay in the ground, lay in the ditch where she lay. I also bet on the old South Dakota State University Jackrabbits going to the semifinals, which is amazing. I also bet that. So I got, I teased that. Okay. So I teased it down to SDSU -1 and the over. South Dakota at Villanova. I teased that. So that brought that down to plus 40. So SDSU -1 and the over was with the over was 40 points. So I hit that pretty easily, actually. And I won a little bit of money on that. So yeah, I was up and I was down, but I was pretty much up the whole weekend. So that's pretty cool.
Right on, man. That's a good week, dude. I'm still kind of a chicken shit, and I still haven't really bet too much since after the MLB playoffs. So I'm still soaking in the Atlanta Braves win, but I should probably do something here with playoff football about to start.
One of our thousands and thousands of listeners we have, including, what is that, listeners we have in Ireland? What is up with that?
It's a couple people downloading it from Ireland. What can I say?
I ain't surprised, but shout out to Ireland, folks. If you're on here, email us at thechuskyboys@gmail.com. We'll have you on sometime. Now, I did get a download from one of our listeners who said that one of the Deadwood casinos paid out big time over the weekend for NFL and UFC bets, like big time. So that's pretty interesting. So I've bet UFC a few times before, never did well. Like, I don't think I've ever won a penny on it, to be honest with you, but I never bet much either.
With UFC, I think the real payoff, it seems like, is people who do parlays, like a 6, 7, 8 leg parlay. Yeah, but the Nunez fight, I think, was one that was a huge upset.
It was, yeah, it absolutely was. And I think that's probably what did most of it. I'm sure that did most of it. And I'm sure a few people got lucky on, like you said, like a 3 or 4 leg parlays, or maybe even more. Anything more than a 4-leg parlay is just like, well, you might as well go buy a Powerball. Speaking of that, we don't have any guests this week, but we do have, I don't want to say her name quite yet in case I'm wrong, but we've got someone locked in for next week who's neither one of us know this gal personally, but I bet you she's got some awesome stories, because let's face it, you and I are both grunge heads, Seattle music scene, and she is right in the thick of that. I don't want to give it too much away, but tune in next week, right around Christmas time. Let's move into this week's bets. BetMGM. BetMGM, we've got our ears on. If you want to reach out to us, go ahead. We're open for sponsorship. We're cheap. We're really cheap. We'd probably do it for free.
Just pay to keep the lights on. When it comes to the podcast, we'll negotiate. It's going to be easy. $50 a month.
How many podcasts do you know have people in Ireland? Any?
I'm not that I'm aware of, man. I feel like maybe that was just someone that is in the States, maybe using a VPN.
Zip it. That wasn't my cousin Ray. All right. Let's before we get into this week, though, let's talk about last week. I gotta say, I think
you want to recap week 14. I'm sure you do. You SOB.
I'm gonna let you do that.
I'd rather not. I'd rather just skip ahead to week 15 for greener pastures for someone like myself. Well, let's start with the not so great news. How's that, Dusty? So week 14, of course, we had JJ as our guest bettor. So we'll start with him. So he had Steelers at Vikes +3 on the Steelers. That game ended up being 36-28, and the Vikings ended up pulling it off, which is kind of disappointing because if I recall, Dusty, your dad and your brother happened to be at that game.
They were at that game. No, it didn't go over. No, it didn't. It damn near did, though, because remember, the Steelers got their asses handed to them the whole first half. I mean, murdered, ruthlessly slaughtered in Minneapolis. The Steelers just got murdered. And then second half, here comes old Big Ben, and he did his Big Ben thing, and he was hooking up with all those freaking receivers they have. And then, if you recall, Chase Claypool, which I didn't think it was that big of a deal as the game is live. When when the Twitter world got a hold of it Monday morning, I'm at work watching it. Holy shit! Like, he jumped up. Actually, didn't even jump up. That's the bad. He stayed down, and he did the first down motion, and he had these excuses, blah, blah, blah. He didn't waste a lot of time. I'm still not that worried about it like other people are. I'm not that critical of it, I should say. I'm not worried about it at all because they're not my team. I grew up in a Steelers household, but that's that. I'm not a Steelers fan. But yeah, dude, he cost the Steelers some time, and the Steelers, they made a game out of it. If they had a little bit more time on the clock, they might have been able to secure an overtime at least to see how that went. But no, they came back and they just a little bit short, but hats off to them.
Score a touchdown and still convert the 2-point conversion in that last pass at the end of the game. Near miss. I mean, he almost had, I think it was tight end on the Steelers side. So
it was close. Yeah. But if they had one more shot, maybe, they did convert a 2-point earlier in the day. They also went for a 2-point and didn't get it when I felt like they didn't need to go for a 2-point. And now they were the analysts, I listen to Sirius XM, channel 87, channel 88. They were critical of the Pittsburgh Steelers going for a 2-point earlier in the fourth quarter. You know what? Like, I'm one of those rare breeds where I say, hey, I know what I would do and what I wouldn't do, but I will never think I'm smarter than an NFL coach. Not even Coach Nagy, maybe smarter than Urban Meyer's out there. Rest in peace, Urban Meyer.
Rest in peace, Urban Meyer's career, man. He is done.
With his millions and the finger up the butt of his girlfriend. But I hate when it's just, that's just social media in a nutshell, dude. And not only social media, but like your friends, your family, whoever, blah, blah, blah. But people who are so critical of these NFL referees and NFL coaches, these offensive coordinators, these DCs, all these, even the people who get paid to talk about sports, people are so critical of these folks. I'm just like, you guys have no idea what you're talking about. So in my opinion, the Steelers probably didn't need to go for a 2-point there, but they did. They lost the game. And at the end of the day, I don't know how you feel about this, but I think that was the fifth to the last game that Big Ben will ever play, at least in a Steelers uniform, which is kind of a crazy deal.
All right. So recapping that one, good game, pretty competitive game, and how Big Ben did come back from it. But, no matter what on the sheet, it's, it's a loss, right? And I think you put that bet on there earlier too. That was your bonus bet, so that doesn't count. So anyways, keep recapping with JJ. So he picked that one +3 Steelers. That was a loss. He went with the Raiders +8.5. Let's just say 48-9, the Chiefs. The Raiders did not cover. He did go with the Cowboys to win by 4 points. It was 27-20. That game was a little closer than it should have been. Dak Prescott's looking like shit right now. He is not playing well, making poor choices. Hopefully he can pull it out. I think we're going to win the division just because the Redskins are just a wreck right now. Of course, the Giants have no chance whatsoever. And maybe the Eagles, we'll maybe see something from them, but I don't know if it'll be enough. And then the other one he did was Rams at +2.5. It was 45-30 on, I think it was Monday Night Football, the Arizona Cardinals. Good game. Real good game though. Dusty, should we even talk about me or should we just move on? Right? Like no big deal.
No. Let's talk about talk about you.
So JJ went 2-2.
I need this.
He was a respectable 50-50, right? 2-2. Me on the other hand, I was 0 for 4. It was not good. So the one close one I had was the Browns at Ravens, for the Browns to win by 3 points. They won by 2. So you bet in the spread. That's a loss. Panthers versus Falcons. I went with the Panthers on that. The Falcons won 29-21. So I lost that one. Chargers versus Giants. I picked the Giants +10.
Let's just recap before we get to the end. Those keeping track at home before that last game, you're 0-3. Let's talk about the last game.
Well, let's not talk about the last game. I want to talk about the Chargers versus the Giants at +10. If you recall from the previous episode that you were going to scour Craigslist for a new Chusky Boy. And I kind of want to see you do that and tell me how that goes, because I feel like you're going to get some images and some responses that you're not going to want. And that's just good content. Creepy, questionable at best, but interesting for sure.
I got no comment on that. I don't... Is Craigslist still around? Is that a thing?
I don't know. I'll let you tell me next week, you weirdo. Cardinals, last bet I had, as I was bucking the trend. I was going to go with the Cardinals. And that also did not pay off for me. They lost.
Well, so you're 0-4. JJ, our guest bettor, did 2-2, which is a great job. Thanks. Shout out to JJ for being on, by the way.
Whoa.
Let's talk about my bets. I had a good week, and I don't think it ended with the Chusky Boys betting as well. So Bears versus Packers. I took the Packers.
It hurt, though. It hurt for you to do that, right? But you were thinking more not with your heart, Dusty, but more with that pocketbook of yours, right? The checkbook.
This big ass brain in my big ass head. So I knew Aaron Rodgers take care of us because, dude, quite frankly, the Bears are in disarray, right? We've got some really good pieces that should be on other teams. I mean, Allen Robinson, Khalil Mack, even though he's in the IR, Robert Quinn, one of the best defensive players in the league right now, Akeem Hicks, blah, blah, blah. I could go on and on and on. So I had the Bears, and I won that one pretty easily, although that should have been a little bit closer because I don't know if you were watching or not, but that BS rule at the end where the Bears, what was the deal? They got it was the kickoff or a punt at the end of the game, and they got the ball, ran it in for a touchdown, but it didn't count because of whatever stupid rule, like one of those rules you see every 10 years type of thing came up, which, to be honest with you, hey, that would have cost me some money if the Bears would have covered and the Packers didn't cover. So in a sick way.
Oh yeah. I was going to say, how, as a fan of the Chicago Bears, how does that make you feel?
Hey, dude, if we're going to lose, we're going to lose. If I'm going to win money by them not covering, I'm going to win money. I'd rather win money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, Justin Fields ain't going anywhere. Our coach Matt Nagy, he's does not have a hold of this team. He lost the team a year and a half ago from that double doink. He needs to be out. Let's just move to the future. Let Dusty win his money. We're going to lose regardless, whether we lose by quick math, 8 points or 15 points. What the hell is the difference anyways? Hope to God, although I know it's not true. The Bears fans are the worst. Like, I'm telling you right now, straight up, on all the social media that I have followed since social media became a thing, Bears fans are the worst. Matt Nagy will be gone no matter what. I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that, but
is the Chicago Bears in such disarray that they bring in Urban Meyer? Is that possible? I feel like that's possible.
I'd take him. I'd take him and that lady friend of his from Ohio. I'd take them both.
I think when you say like lady friend, like you should probably say like lady friends, because I'm sure he has more than just one.
Oh, I'm guarantee it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So let's just see. Dusty went 4-1. I lost the bonus bet.
So technically, we'll say 4-0. Let's say 4-0.
I shouldn't have made the bonus bet. I wanted to do a little shout out to my family who was on their way, who actually had to drive home all night from that football game because of the impeding blizzard that was coming their way. Dusty is 4-0, Bears versus Packers. So Packers cover 12.5 spread. Rams and Cardinals. I had the Rams plus 2.5, as well as the over, which was 52. The Rams beat the Arizona Cardinals 30-23, which is 53 points. So it's a good close game there. And I had the Bills at the Buccaneers. I had the Bucks minus 3.5, and they covered just 33-27. So I went 4-0 on the week. So I feel good about last week. I mean, you can't be better than, I betted 4 out of 4, which is 1,000%. This week is difficult, though. It was a clean sweep, but this week's difficult. I don't know, man. I don't feel great about this. I'm going to tell you a few things about this week. We are in unprecedented times. This situation is gnarly in the NFL. Absolutely gnarly. We've got so many. Dude, what I should have it pulled up, but I don't. But we got the Browns with 21 players. There's another team.
Rams are in disarray as well. With
disarray.
Yep, the Coco, the Rona.
Bears and Vikings are looking really tough with COVID. I mean, we've got some major situation. The NFL Players Association they partnered with the NFL and changed the protocol today for COVID. So if you're vaccinated, you can get 2 negative tests within 24 hours of each other after 24 hours of being diagnosed with COVID-19, and you can get cleared to play if you're vaccinated. So if you're not vaccinated, you're still screwed, right? You've got to wait, the 10 days, I believe it is, and 2 negative tests to play, which, hey, we're not going to go there. We don't, we're not here to talk about vaccination versus not getting vaccinated, but it is amazing how they changed the end of the season for players who already were vaccinated and had to miss games versus now you're vaccinated. You get 2 tests. You go 6 a.m. and 6 a.m. on a Friday and Saturday, take a private flight to Tampa Bay and still make the game, right? So it's unprecedented times. So they're changing things. But, hey, it's a crazy world we live in now. So this week, like I said, from the COVID and, teams aren't really locked in yet where they're starting to bench play. I mean, we are in an 18-week season, a 17-game league. We're not quite there where teams are resting players for playoffs. We're just starting fantasy football playoffs week 1 this week. Well, last year it would have been last week, of course, but because of the extra week, we move it up a week. But I don't know, dude. Like this week, looking at the BetMGM.com, I'm not seeing a whole lot of stuff that I'm really liking.
It's really difficult to look at it and make a decision based off of it because some of these players could come back. Like I think Baker Mayfield's on the COVID-19 as well as I think Case Keenum. So they're bringing in another quarterback.
Yeah, both quarterbacks.
It's risky.
They have to win this week, dude. They have to win this week to get in that AFC playoff spot.
I was reading somewhere on Twitter. I can't remember who it was, but it's like, this is going to happen if we continue to test asymptomatic players. And pretty much kind of what they've said is that other teams are not getting COVID-19 playing on the field with these players who have it. So I don't know, man. I think it's really getting messy right now. NFL, the NBA, I think hockey, there's some problems. I think the Premier League, which is overseas, Europe, of course, they're looking at stopping playing possibly until January. So it's really going to get interesting quick, like you said, especially with fantasy football, which is not, people's well-being is most important. But as we've seen with most of these players, certainly in the NFL, they're out for a while. They come back and they're good. I don't think there's been a lot of lingering issues or anything like that, or definitely nothing that's been spoke about. I mean, Lamar Jackson's just struggling. I don't think it has anything to do with COVID-19. So yeah, dude, I mean, I don't know, man. So do you want to jump right into week 15 then? I got my 4, cause I was preparing yesterday and then you bitch ass didn't show up.
I had stuff going on yesterday. I'll just end with this, with the COVID-19, like we all know someone who's been seriously ill with COVID. Some of these football players, let's face it, they're Chusky Boys like us. Like they're 325-pound linemen. It's wild, and it's a great thing. We don't want to see anyone sick with COVID, but it's a great thing. But it's wild to me that none of these players so far have really got sick. Maybe they're on the Joe Rogan
cocktail or whatever,
cocktail,
yeah,
whatever they're on, and they don't know what we know, or I'm sorry, we don't know what they know. Whatever they're doing, but it's wild to me that no one's gotten seriously sick yet. Thank God. But it's a crazy time. So yeah. All right. So week 15, we are coming rapidly to the end of the NFL season, which fucking sucks, by the way.
Depressing, dude. Like, what's after this? Like, we're not NBA fans. We're not hockey fans. I mean, we're waiting for baseball, which is currently freaking locked out.
Oh, dude.
Talk about it. Let's just talk about week 15 picks. Yep.
Don't ruin my buzz. Okay, week 15. I went 4-0 last week, and you went, I think, 0-4. So
got that hot hand. Got that hot hand. You gonna talk some shit?
Nah.
Let the numbers speak for themselves. So I'll go first, man. I'm gonna take it as I need all the help I can get. There is one pick that I did for tonight's game that we're currently watching. I think I sent you a text message so you know it's legit. No funny business there, and I'm counting that pick, you son of a bitch. But Patriots at Colts. I got the Patriots at +2.5. It's going to be good stuff. Chiefs at Chargers. Game currently going on right now. I did under at 52 points. That one's looking good already. Don't hose me, Busta. Titans at Steelers. I got the Steelers at +2. I think the Titans are struggling right now. I don't think Derrick Henry's back. Seahawks at Rams. I got the Rams at -4.5 points. That's the slate of 4-0 right there, dude. That is hot. I don't care what you say.
It ain't bad. All right. So it's not bad at all. I'm gonna work in reverse order. Okay. So Monday Night Football, Vikings are in Chicago. I'm going to take the Vikings -5.5. I know it sucks. It's not right. It ain't right at all. It sucks, but I got the Vikings -5.5. And by the way, JR, I see the lines have moved a little bit on yours, mostly not in your favor. So you're locked in for those. Congratulations. I also have Green Bay in Baltimore. I have the Packers -5.5, just like the Vikings and the Bears. So Vikings -5.5 in Chicago, Green Bay -5.5 in struggling Baltimore. I got New England. Can I take the same team, the same game as you guys, as you? I don't know if that's
dude, that's fine. No big deal.
So I got New England +2 in Indy. That's a gimme, man. If I could do a double down, that'd be it right there. New England +2 in Indy. Don't get me wrong. Indy, they've got the best. They've got probably the. Can I say they're the best player in the NFL right now? Like they're rocking and rolling. But dude, New England as a team, I heard on ESPN radio yesterday, I don't remember who it was. It was some ESPN broadcaster that said New England is the best AFC team in the NFL as of today. So I don't know if that's true, but I know they're damn good. So I'm gonna go with New England +2.
I think from a record standpoint, that's accurate.
Yeah, I exactly. And then I know this is kind of a shitty take because of COVID, And I hate COVID, like we all hate COVID, but Cleveland Browns they're decimated right now. I assume and I hope this game is postponed by the NFL for the safety of everybody.
And it's on Saturday too.
It's a Saturday game, just like the Patriots at the Colts. But I gotta take Derek Carr and the Las Vegas Raiders in Cleveland Saturday -4.5. I mean, they're they actually Cleveland was favored 24 hours ago. Because of COVID, of course, the line moved by I think it's 8 points or more. I think it was 8 points actually. I think it was right at 8 points.
Vegas knows all. We know that, right? The
Absolutely.
other game that neither of us are betting on, because I think it's a shitty game. I can't remember who the Jaguars play. Is it the Texans? And it moved in the favor of the Jaguars when Urban Meyer was fired. So them firing their head coach improved the line for the Jaguars. So that's absurd. Vegas knows, man. Vegas knows.
Houston's playing in Jacksonville, and Jacksonville is now favored by 4.5 points. So that's pretty wild.
Yeah, that's insane, man.
The over/under is 39.
But they're not playing Tyrod Taylor. They're going with Mills, and I can't do it. I can't justify that bet, man. I looked at it and I can't.
It's wild.
Maybe like a 9-6 game or 12-5, just a goofy ass number, goofy ass score.
Talk about over-unders as well. The Raiders at the Browns, the over-under dropped to 37 points, dude. 37 points. That's insane. For an NFL game, that's about as low as you're going to see, I think.
I mean, Browns are out with COVID, and then I think Hunt's out with an ankle injury.
No, I totally get it. It's just wild. It's unprecedented times. It's crazy. Talk about unprecedented times. Did you see anything? I know neither one of us are really big college basketball folks, but did you see? I think we should start the Chusky Boy of the Week. Did you see this kid, 7 foot tall, 360-pound freshman from St. John Fisher? Did you see that over the weekend? Barstool Sports is all over it.
Represent the Chusky Boys right there, because that boy, he's Chusky to the max.
He absolutely lives our culture through and through. Let's just say that our people are talking to his people, trying to make it work. I don't think it's going to work. I love to talk to the kid on the podcast, but this guy, I'm watching the video right now. I'm going to turn the volume down. This big 7 foot, 360-pound kid is an animal. And it's easy to laugh at the kid because he doesn't move as fast. He's a Chusky kid, right? He's a Chusky boy. So this kid, easy to laugh at the Chusky boy, right? We've all been laughed at. 360 pounds, trotting down the court like a donkey. Not like a horse, like a slow donkey.
Graceful, very graceful.
Absolutely, like a ballerina. And he falls. He falls on national TV, gets up, and he gives the assist to the kid down low for the hoop.
He rolled his ankle. Like if you watch it, he stepped on the defender and he rolled his ankle and got back up, kind of hobbling the trot, right? For big boy. And yeah, dude, I wouldn't say a no look, but a quick pass on the interior. Boom. Easy 2 points. That's what dreams are made of. You know what I mean? That right there, there's 7 million views on Big Cat from Barstool. His tweet alone. I mean, that's insane.
This kid is as big as Donovan Sue down there. Now, he's not just one trick pony kind of guy. If you watch the highlights of this kid, he is draining threes all over the court. I mean, he's killing it. He's not, I mean, you can't play college basketball on national TV and not have legitimate, you can't be a legitimate dumbass. You've got to be a good basketball player. And he absolutely is. And I think this kid, I got to tell you, man, he is absolutely, he lives the values of the Chusky Boys. And I hope this kid makes it forever. Barstool Sports, if it wasn't for Barstool Sports, would have him on tonight, right? They got him first, and they got a little bit bigger following than we have, so they took him. It's kind of like when like you have a good athlete at a high school and Nike and Reebok go after him. Okay, we're Reebok. Barstool Sports is Nike. We just missed them. It's close.
Yeezys, boy.
It's Coke and Pepsi. It's Tupac. It's Biggie. We missed him, but that's all right.
Search that guy. Search that guy on Barstool Sports. They got a couple different videos where he is draining threes. Not only is he towering above these other players, he's rocking a mask and just doesn't even jump. Just flick of the wrist, man, and he's draining threes. It's a thing of beauty. Connor Williams, we want you on the Chusky Boys podcast.
Hey, whatever it takes, Connor.
If anybody knows his people, tell them to get in touch with our people. And you are the Chusky Boy of the week. I mean, it's a beautiful thing that you're doing out there. Let it rain them threes.
Keep up, big boy.
Chusky.
Well, that's a Chusky Boy of the week. I think whenever we have, or we don't have rather, a guest on the Chusky Boy podcast, which has thousands of followers and subscribers,
and growing,
we have
every
a Chusky Boy of the week.
Growing every week. It's an unreal pace.
Every week. There it is. Every week we look out for a Chusky Boy, whether it's NFL, NBA, high school, whether, if it's anyone who our, listeners can actually go and look on our social media, watch these videos, you are eligible to be a Chusky Boy. Dude, we're going to end out 2021 with snow tornadoes, East River, South Dakota. Snow tornadoes in Minnesota, South Dakota, and Iowa. How can you close out a year any better than that? You can't. You can be fire tornadoes. I don't know.
Dusty, we didn't have a guest today, but we always like to end our podcast with our favorite saying that we continue to never do it the exact same time every time. So, Dusty.
Yeah, go on. Remind me what it is.
If you're not chubby, and you're not husky,
go on.
Well, what the hell are you?
Yeah, Chusky.
You're damn right. You're a Chusky Boy. And once again, a shout out, episode 8 to Connor Williams, Chusky of the week.
Keep going, big boy. We're watching.
We're watching. The United States of America is watching. You continue to be Chusky. Dusty, as always, a pleasure.
Peace.